You beautiful peoples of the internet, it's me Glyn, Cheapskate Fishing, and I do apologise if there's any wind noise on the mic here, but I haven't done a video in a hot minute, but we're going to go out now, do a little bit of spinning, and we're on the out tide. Tide's probably got another 2 or 3 hours before it's fully out, and we're heading over. Right in the distance there's rocks appearing. I'm a little bit late, I'm probably late by about an hour or so. But we'll see how this goes now. And what we're going to do, got my old waders on, and we're going to wade out and throw a few very, very shallow diving lure. Nice cheap lure again. This is a sort of, I'll just show it off here on the camera. It's a company called Momo. You can get them off Amazon. Try and hopefully that's in camera and in shot. And it's white, but with like little candy colours on it down the edges there, and it's very shallow diving. Not a particularly great caster. Probably get about 40 yards on a very good cast if I'm lucky with the wind. Fortunately the wind is actually in the direction I need it today for this casting. Yeah, so these Momo lures, I've got 2 of them. I got one that's a bit like have you ever heard of the Mega Bass Zonk? It's about a 30 quid lure. Well, they do a copy one of those, that's again 8 quid. I haven't caught on that one yet, but then I haven't used it as much as this one. White tends to be a very productive colour in the estuary because of the muckiness and colour of the water a lot of the time. So that's probably the intro over, and I'll speak to you when we get out there. I'll wade out into the water. Right, so I've sort of arrived at the spot. Like I say, I'm about an hour too late here really. Ideally I would have liked to have come as these rocks were just poking over the top of the out the top of the water, and I would have been able to fish it out, but the rocks do go right out there, so I think I'll just keep the camera running now and we'll go out. I'll wade out there, we'll throw a few casts, so it's not going to be a very long session out here. I've probably only got about another half hour of fishing here. You can see the little avocets all sitting on the rock over there. You probably won't pick it up on the camera, maybe if I stand still, you never know. You see the little avocets just on the rock out there. Maybe I'll try and zoom in on that on editing, but I'm going to try and get my arse up on that rock and throw a few casts off. Again, it's going to be very shallow, very rocky, very snaggy, so I don't want anything that dives down too deep. So I've been using this shallow diving lure. Somebody's lost their old rubber tyre for their bike. Right, yeah, so I don't want anything too deep of diving. I'm finding this little Momo lure is perfect. It kind of dives down to a foot, and if I hold the rod up, it'll literally move along the surface. So here we go. What's the clarity of the water like? Not particularly brilliant. I could be too late, maybe the bass have moved out now, but right, first things first, let's unhook the lure. Right, I do need to get the braid wet, but we're going to mosey on out, and like I say, it's very, very shallow over here. And there is a sort of deep pond just by here, so I'm not getting much luck off this rock. I think I'll throw a few. Now I've got to be careful where I walk, because as you can see there's rocks sticking out and I can't actually see the bottom of the water here. So there's a good chance I can trip and hit a rock and fall on my arse and get swept away, because as you can see the current is very strong. So ideally that's why I want to get my arse up on this rock. So I'm edging forward gently. I'm going to put the camera down a little bit, and especially if I do get onto the rock. Right, it's getting deeper, getting shallower. Now then, am I going to be able to make the... I might not be able to actually get my arse up on here. Here we goes, nothing. Yeah, I think that's... Alright, well we'll just use this rock as a base. If I catch something I can just unhook off it. So first catch, just going to get the braid wet. Dipped it in. Try and pull this over and that way. Right, do a better cast now. My guess is I'm a little bit late and the bass have moved out to sea, but we'll give it a try. You never know. At least the water's a little bit clear over here. Oh yes, there is fish in here. Right, okay, I just seen something on the surface there, so I'm going to try and keep the lure up on the surface because it's very shallow. Nice action on this lure as well. I don't know if you'd be able to pick that up on the... It kind of wobbles left and right quite quickly, especially in this... So with the current, I think I only need to do a really slow retrieve here. I'm just going to throw a few little twitches in as well while I'm winding this in. A couple of little twitches on the rod like this. Helps. Now sometimes with these float, because this is a floating lure, sometimes it can bring itself out of the snag, but I don't think this one is. Right, let's go and, fortunately it's not in too deep of water, so I can just make my way back out there. Actually I can see where it's snagged, there's a rock. Now it could be that the sound of myself might have scared off any potential catch further back now. Good thing is the wind is working in my favour here, is that it's behind, the wind is at my back, so it's helping me do a slightly longer cast. No, that was a rock. As you can see the action on the lure, I'll try and show you the action. Oh no, almost had it then. Trying to get the... There we go, you can see the sort of action on the lure. Sort of gives that nice little wobble. It's a little bit clearer the water by here. I think we'll carry on moving this way. I see a rock just surfacing here. I think I'm going to go and get myself up on that. Again, I'm only in knee height of water, so that's about 18 inches of water. It is varying. A little bit deeper by here. That's it. That wind is really helping on the cast. I didn't expect to cast it that far. I think the lure is about 16 grams, so it's not a heavy lure. If you put your rod tip down, it does dive a little bit deeper. I say it'll go, I say a foot, I think it'll go a little bit deeper than that. It all depends on how fast you're retrieving it, but it tends to be in the top of the water column. I'm hitting the rocks there. Mind you, that could be a shallow spot, it's hard to tell. So if I wind it a little bit quicker, hold the rod up, then it stays up to the surface. I'm hitting too much, like I think it's too shallow over there. There it is. I think I might just use this rock as a little bit of a base. It's a little bit shallow over here. Right. So I'm going to cast it down this way because I know it's a little bit deeper over here. Just in case there's something still hiding down there. I've picked up I've picked up a little bit of weed. Yeah, I can tell by the way the lure isn't, there's no action on the lure. There's a little bit of weed on there. Oh, could have fallen off while you're in the water. Oh, there's still a bit more weed on it. Keep his. I was thinking about is also removing a lot of the trebles off this particular lure. Just haven't got round to it yet. I think I might just keep the rear treble on there and get rid of these two. I noticed when I caught a couple of smaller fish the other day, one of them had snagged himself in the belly with one of the hooks. I didn't like that. He'd caught himself in the mouth, but he'd also, one of the spare trebles had hooked him through the belly. That was a bit disappointing. So it just goes to show this £8 Momo lure is every bit as good as an expensive lure. Again, no need to spend a fortune on your lures. And again, to be honest, I caught some of the other fish I caught on the Flying Seas. Again, that's only a £3 or £4 lure. The more expensive lures don't seem to be doing much. I got a feeling there should be one over there somewhere. Right, so I just had one literally turn the camera off and I had one follow it in and take it off the surface. So let's hope I'm recording. Literally just turned the camera off as well. It was the second cast after I turned the camera off. So he's giving me a good little fight. Let me turn this down. Might be quite a nice little bass. I don't think it's any particularly big size. But yeah, I was casting out over this deep pool that I said. Oh, he's all right. So my little knot holds up. All right. Here he is. Right, and let's get him unhooked. Let me just test him for size. He is a keeper, but you know what, I think I'm going to put him back. Oh. Right, I'm not going to hurt him, I'm just going to put my foot just down here gently. Right, there we go. So I've unhooked him now. I'm just going to give him a little push. There he goes, back in. So that was nice. Well, I'll keep the camera running just in case there's some more over there. But he came chasing that one, and I was down over here again where I said there's that little deep pool, and he literally took it off the surface. So technically that was a keeper. He was over 45. What I've done is I've put a little marker now on my rod so I can just quickly measure rather than get a tape measure out and mess about. And I actually had visual sight off the lure then while he was taking that. There's one chasing it now, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so definitely that little pool over there has definitely got a few fish holding in it. They must be ready to go out to sea. I mean, the tide's not far off stranding them. I better turn the camera up a little bit. I'm really gutted I didn't have the camera running on that one, because you could actually see him coming up to strike it. Well, I could see it, but I got polarised glasses on, so maybe the camera wouldn't have picked it up. So I'll leave that sit in the water for a bit. Again, it's almost as if they're camera shy, the bass. They don't like it when the camera's running. So right, so I think that'll do it for today. Like I say, just had that one fish. Been down here about an hour or so. Tide's gone out. I've thrown quite a few more casts since I turned the camera off. And thanks for watching, and hopefully till next time.